Hello and welcome, it's Richard McCann here, motivational speaker, presentation skills coach and Sunday Times #1 best-selling author. I thought I would share with you what's taken place over the last few days. If you've seen me on social media, you'll know that I've been doing this incredible mammoth, or I attempted at least to do this mammoth 44 pop-up presentations in one day. So I'm going to share with you what it was all about, how we did, and maybe what I learned through the process. It was very interesting, shall we say. So first of all, how did it come about? Well, on the 3rd of July, it was 20 years since I came out of prison. So on that day, I challenged myself to stand up on a train. Here I am on the train from Birmingham to Leeds and gave a pop-up presentation to some strangers. Can you imagine that? Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention please? I did it live on Facebook, live. And the next day I was in my barber's and I did the same thing. The day after that, I did it again in a cafe, the Toast Love Coffee Cafe in Leeds. It's a cafe where people can pay what they feel. Whilst I was on that particular Facebook live broadcast, one of my friends, Nikki KO, God bless her, she challenged me to do 44 of these talks in 44 days. I said, no, I'll do 44 in one day, or at least I would attempt to do it. And that's how the 44 challenge came about. So why 44? Well, many of you will know, if you've been following me, that my mum, Wilma McCann, was, she lost her life at the hands of Peter Sutcliffe on the 44th week of the year 1975. And interestingly, he went home to his mother-in-law's house, which was 44 Taunton Crescent. So this 44 follows me around everywhere. And that's why Nikki KO had suggested 44. Anyway, so that was the idea. So it was in memory of my mum, really. And off we went. The works recruitment was the first one. It was last Thursday, the 3rd of August. Yes, 3rd of August. And works recruitment was at 8:10. That's where we set off. They did that live on Facebook. What was interesting was, let me show you this. I did the first 5 or 6 in Leeds City Centre on my mountain bike, and that's because there was no parking, or the road, it was like a one-way system, and I was going to lose too much time. I only allocated like 2 minutes between each engagement. I was going to lose too much time going around on a taxi or driving, so I went on my bike, and that was me at the NHS Leadership Academy, and we had an incredible day. Got off to a really good start. That is me at the NHS Leadership Academy, and I won't show every single slide, but we got a load of, by the way, Howard Rushforth from Rushforth Creative did that for me, and it went down very well. I got a lot of mileage out of it. So I can't remember all. I think this was one I did yesterday. Now the reason I say yesterday is because what happened on the day was we can make all the plans we want. Sometimes things happen beyond our control. So what happened on the day of the challenge was I was turning up at events, and when I got there I was left in reception for 5 minutes, or I got into the room and the staff weren't there. What needed to happen was the staff needed to be there when I got there and my slides ready to go, so I could run in, do my talk and shoot off. That never happened, so we had to pull out, I think we had to pull out 5, so we did 39 on the day. So yesterday and the day before I went round and I did the last few. So this is Parallax. This is the actual 44th company that allowed me to come in. They were really funky, they were interesting. I can't remember who they are, but as you can see, we had a lot of fun. I don't know how many people we spoke to, but it's 44. That was the hashtag 44talks. If you search for that hashtag on social media, you'll see lots of activity, and I won't go through them all, but what did I learn? Well, there's one worth mentioning, People Holdings. Now my intention was to raise £4,444, and I asked each company to, or I suggested that they would donate a minimum of £44 each, and most of them did that. But People's Holdings, who were the 3rd company I visited, they donated £444.44. I mean, do you know what? That really touched me. So I was really grateful for every single donation, because we've raised quite a lot of money. But they went above and beyond what I was expecting, and I do hope it wasn't a mistake when they entered it onto the Just Giving page. Anyway, so lots of activity, there was running, and bless her, my PA. She was running down the street with me from venue to venue. We were backtracking, we were phoning people ahead. She was going in. It was, if I'd have filmed it, you'd have laughed your socks off. Anyway, so just want to tell you about that. It went well. What did I learn? I learned that, sometimes things take a little bit longer than you anticipate. I learned that sometimes the technology can let you down. There was sometimes we would turn up there and the sound wasn't working. So I showed a little video of my son at the end. inspiring an audience of 3,000 people at the age of 8. Check out ellismccann.co.uk if you want to see that. And in some cases that sound was not working as they'd not tested it. But you know what? We still got through it. And this was one yesterday. This was Blue Apple training. That was a really moving one because this is a lot of people who were trying to get back into work. So I went on there and they allowed me to go in there. And what was the ray of sunshine in the dark cloud was those 5 that I had to go into like after the day of the challenge. They got slightly longer presentations than those that got 5 minutes, so that was a positive. Anyway, lots of stuff. Parallax, that was the last one. Creod. What was interesting about parallax? Anyway, I'm not going to show you every little slide, but what was interesting about parallax, my 44th presentation, is when I got out of the building round the corner, I saw this on the wall. It was Brazier 44, and I went in and had a sandwich and a coffee in there as I reflected on how well we'd done. And so how did we do then? Well, by the way, there's 2 charities that we're raising money for. There was Toast Love Cafe, that's the cafe that I went into and did my 3rd pop-up presentation, and also Samaritans. About 4 weeks ago, I came across a young girl that was trying to kill herself. I had to ring 999. She was going to throw herself off the top of a house, and it was really shocking. And it brought home to me that I actually needed, or reminded me that I needed them, Samaritans that is, back in 1997 when I came out of prison, because I formed a suicide pact with my sister Sonia. And anyway, so we were both in a difficult time, and in fact, I needed them before that as well. Anyway, so it was for Samaritans as well. So how much did we raise? Well, for the Toast Love Coffee Cafe, that's the cheques and some small cash donations, we've raised £1,387. If you add on the donations via my Just Giving page, and those donations from the public go to Samaritans, the grand total of £3,515. I'm really pleased about that. Now, I've not quite got the £4,444, but I've got to send this out to my database and maybe ask them to make a small donation, so I might just make it. But you know what? Even though I didn't do the 44 talks in one day, and even though I didn't raise the £4,444, I'm okay with that. And look, sometimes we go out, we set out, and we try and do things, and or we enter I don't know, the Olympic 100-metre final, and we don't get gold. We might get bronze. We might get. It is the taking part that counts, as long as you do your best. And I did my best that day. Nobody can fault you for that. Although you might get the cynics that might try and fault you. So that was the 44 talks in one day challenge. That's how I did. We raised some great money. I had some fun. I was exhausted. Finally, if you would like to help me try and raise that £4,444, please go on to Just Giving. Just search for 44 talks and you'll find my Just Giving page. Make a small donation and we'll make sure, well, the money goes direct to Samaritans anyway, so it's all in a good cause. I'm Richard McCann. You can find out more about me on richardmccann.co.uk or my son Ellis McCann at ellismccann.co.uk. I'm Richard McCann. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.